Well, I think I've had plenty to say over the last 8 years, so with that said, I have nothing. Thank you, Diane.
Thanks, Karen. And Steve?
I just want you, Mayor, and Karen to both know that it's been a very privileged experience for me to be to work with you for the last 8 years, and I will definitely miss you.
Thank you,
That's all I
Steve.
have.
Thank you. Jim?
Well, I want to thank Diane, Karen, and Bill too for the opportunity to serve with you, and really appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thanks, Jim. And Dick?
Well, I think we all feel the same way. We're thankful for those that are willing to take public office and serve. Thank you for the years that you put in. And it was a hard decision for Bill to back away from it with a new election that's happened here. And also, Karen, great respect for you in your ability to communicate. Many times we have been on different sides of an issue, but you've always been willing to talk, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. And Craig?
Thank you, Mayor. I too would want to echo what everybody else has pretty much said tonight. It has been a pleasure to serve with both of you ladies. No matter what people have said or continue to say or think that they know, you guys definitely, excuse me, definitely left this town in better condition than what you found it. And it's because of your hard work and dedication that we're all better off for it. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig. And for myself, I first want to thank Ron Dunt and the Finance and Personnel Committee for all the hard work they have done on the budget. You know, the headlines in the paper were auditors give Hampton high marks for its financial condition. And we went from such a huge financial deficit to now a fund balance. And that was in 8 very difficult economic years. And so hats off to you three, Ron, and the remainder of the council then that approved that. So that was huge stride. When I first ran for office, I ran under the logo of team. And that meant together everyone achieves more. And my daughter knows that better than I do because that was one of her sports shirts themes. And that's the theme I used. And I think all of us working together, that came true with making Hampton progressive over the last 8 years. I'm very disappointed in the person who's going to fill this chair in that he has not been to a council meeting. One only that I'm aware of after he first announced office. When I decided to run, I wanted to dig my heels in case I won and would know what I was faced with and what I needed to do to get a little bit of experience. I hope he'll fill this chair with a clear, open mind prior to sitting here. Prior to sitting here, I was given a lot of skewed information and thought, but I put all that information in the very far recesses of my brain, and I came here wanting to gather the correct information and the facts so I could sort through this and make the decisions that I made and that I hold full responsibility for. There's no playing the blame game when you're sitting here. You've got to take full responsibility for the decisions that you have made. There are many armchair mayors in this community, and they will get a hold of you, whether it's on the street, in church, or wherever it is. They don't have the courage and they don't have the guts to run for this position because they do not want to take the heat that sometimes you have to take. But it's not that difficult. I was contacted by several of those armchair mayors. Some of them came to my listening post. It didn't last very long because they apparently didn't get their way. And so there was no point in talking to me. I couldn't be puppeteered along to do what they wanted me to do. I took into consideration what was best for the citizens of our community and Hampton as a whole. And I hope that's what will continue. We've tried to keep everything as transparent and out there as we possibly can. And because maybe things weren't done necessarily the way they wanted them done, we were accused of hiding things. So as the information was out there and true and transparent, we still got this yellow mailing in the mail that had misinformation in it. Anybody wants to reread this? It's here. Then, it was brought to my attention, a current council member has made a statement that they wonder what me and my friends are gonna talk about now that I'm no longer in this chair and won't have city government to talk about. You have my word on it that I have never talked about city government with my friends unless it's questions that can be made public, and then everybody is privileged to that information. So, I want you to know, you have my word on it, we did not sit behind closed doors and talk about city government. All city business, like I had said before, is out there, is transparent. The cardinal rule of being in these seats is to maintain confidentiality and be ethical about it. It brings me back to the thought of my parents as we would sit around and talk. And they would say, you know, Diane, usually the accusers are the guilty party. And so I've remembered that ever since. I want to thank the citizens of Hampton, City Hall staff, especially Ron and Doug, for all the hard work they have done. The city council members for where they have brought this city to in the last 8 years. It's been a pleasure for me to be here and have the support of all of these people, which has made my job that much easier, that much more rewarding. I'm just hoping that, you know, this past 8 years has been very progressive 8 years, and I'm hoping this progress will continue for the years to come. So again, I want to thank all the citizens of Hampton for supporting me. It's been a pleasure to serve you for 8 years. I'll continue to be involved as I can be. With that, I wish everybody a very happy and Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year.